Number 1. Formulating research objectives and hypotheses for user insight. Why start with a clear objective? Think of a road trip. The destination decides which road you take. In research, an objective tells you what destination insight you need. SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Example: determine the top 3 reasons why millennials abandon an e-commerce checkout after adding items to the cart within the next 8 weeks. From objective to hypothesis, a hypothesis is a testable statement that stems from the objective, like a guess you can prove right or wrong. Example: if the checkout page loads in greater than 3 seconds, then the cart abandonment rate will increase by at least 15%. Types of hypotheses. Directional: one-tailed, predicts a specific direction, higher or lower. Non-directional: two-tailed, predicts a difference but not direction. Link to business value: tie each objective to a KPI, for example conversion rate or NPS, so that the research outcome can be directly fed into product decisions. Section 2. Designing sampling strategies and calculating sample sizes. Sampling is like tasting a soup. You don't need to drink the whole pot to know the flavor. You need a representative spoonful. Probability versus non-probability sampling. Simple random sampling. Every user has an equal chance, like drawing names from a hat. Stratified sampling. Split the population into layers: age, region, and sample each layer proportionally to ensure representation. Convenience quota: easier but risk bias. Sample size formula for proportion estimates, most common for surveys. N equals z squared times p times open parenthesis 1 minus p close parenthesis divided by e squared. Z equals z value for desired confidence, 1.96 for 95%. P equals estimated proportion, use 0.5 if unknown, maximizes n. E equals margin of error, for example 0.05 for plus or minus 5%. Example: want 95% confidence, 5% margin, assume p equals 0.5. N equals open parenthesis 1.96 squared close parenthesis times 0.5 times 0.5 divided by open parenthesis 0.05 squared close parenthesis equals 384. So you need roughly 384 valid responses. Finite population correction if population n is small. N sub edge equals n divided by open parenthesis 1 plus open parenthesis n minus 1 close parenthesis divided by n close parenthesis. Confidence interval. After data collection, a 95% confidence interval for proportion p hat is p hat plus or minus z times square root of open parenthesis p hat times open parenthesis 1 minus p hat close parenthesis divided by n close parenthesis. Choosing a sampling plan: match the plan to the research objective. For example, stratified sampling when you need insights per user segment. Surveys: the workhorse of quantitative research. Deliver them via email, in app prompts, or third-party panels. Keep the questionnaire short, 5 to 10 minutes, to improve response rates. Likert scaling: a 5-point or 7-point scale ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Example: I find the app's navigation intuitive. Treat as ordinal data. Many analysts treat it as interval for simplicity, enabling mean calculations. Regression analysis: answers how does x affect y. Simple linear regression: y equals beta 0 plus beta 1 x plus epsilon. Y could be purchase amount, x could be time spent on site. Multiple regression adds more predictors, x1, x2, and so on. Check for multicollinearity, VIF less than 5. Factor analysis reduces many correlated survey items into underlying dimensions factors. 2 steps. Exploratory factor analysis, EFA, to discover structure. Eigenvalues greater than 1 scree plot. Confirmatory factor analysis, CFA, to test a hypothesized model fit indices. CFI greater than 0.90, RMSEA less than 0.08. Example workflow. Deploy a 20-item survey on perceived value, usability, and trust. Run AFA, discover 3 factors: usability, trust, value. Compute factor scores for each respondent. Use multiple regression. Conversion rate equals beta 0 plus beta 1 usability plus beta 2 trust plus beta 3 value plus epsilon. Interpret coefficients to prioritize product improvements. 4 qualitative data gathering methods and thematic coding. Why qualitative? It uncovers the why behind numbers like a detective interviewing witnesses. In-depth interviews one-on-one semi-structured conversations 30 to 60 minutes. Use an interview guide with open-ended questions. For example, tell me about the last time you tried to book a flight on our app. Focus group 6 to 10 participants discuss a topic together. The group dynamic often surfaces shared pain points and divergent views. Affinity diagramming. After gathering raw quotes, write each on a sticky note, then group similar ideas together. This visual clustering creates themes. Thematic coding process. Step 1. Transcribe recordings verbatim. Step 2. Familiarize read transcripts, note initial ideas. Step 3. Generate initial codes, short labels, for example, slow loading, confusing menu. Use software like NVivo or Atlas T. Step 4. Search for themes, combine related codes into broader themes, for example, performance issues. Step 5. Review themes, ensure they capture the data and are distinct. Step 6. Define and name, write a clear definition for each theme. Reliability check, have 2 coders code the same 20% of data and compute Cohen's kappa kappa. Kappa greater than 0.70 indicates good agreement. Real-world example, a fintech startup conducts 12 interviews about onboarding. Coding yields themes, document upload, frustration, verification, timing, anxiety, positive first transaction, feeling. These become focal points for redesign. Segmentation equals sorting users into buckets so you can treat each bucket differently, like sorting laundry by color. Data preparation, select variables that matter, demographics, behavior, psychographics. Standardize numeric variables, z-scores, to give each equal weight. K-means clustering, the most common algorithm. Choose K number of clusters. Randomly place K centroids. Assign each user to the nearest centroid Euclidean distance. Recalculate centroids as the mean of assigned points. Iterate until assignments stop changing. Choosing K, use the elbow method, plot total within cluster sum of squares versus K, and look for the point where adding another cluster gives diminishing returns. The silhouette score, range -1 to 1, also helps. Higher is better. Hierarchical clustering builds a tree dendrogram of clusters without pre-specifying. K agglomerative approach starts with each point as its own cluster and merges the closest pairs. Example, an online streaming service clusters users using variables. Hours watched per week, genre diversity index, subscription tier. K-means finds 3 clusters. Cluster A, binge watchers, high hours, low genre diversity. Cluster B, casual explorers, moderate hours, high genre diversity. Cluster C, budget viewers, low hours, low cost tier. Interpretation, attach business meaning, then tailor features, marketing, and pricing. Validation, run the clustering on a hold-out sample, or use bootstrapping to ensure stability. Persona equals a data-driven fictional user profile that represents a segment. Select a segment from the clustering result, for example, binge watchers. Aggregate descriptive statistics, average age, income, device usage, key behaviors. Add qualitative flavor, pull representative quotes from interviews that belong to the segment. Create a visual template, name, photo, tagline, goals, pain points, preferred channels. Empirical validation, treat the persona as a measurement instrument. Reliability, internal consistency, compute Cronbach's alpha on the Likert items that define the persona's core attributes, for example, tech-savvy, price-sensitive. Alpha greater than 0.80 suggests the items reliably capture the construct. Usage frequency weighting, if the segment accounts for 40% of total sessions, weight the persona's influence accordingly when scoring features. Persona Reliability Coefficient, PRC, a custom metric. PRC equals average inter-item correlation times segment share divided by number of items. Higher PRC indicates a strong representative persona. For the binge watcher's persona, Cronbach's alpha on 5 engagement items equals 0.86, segment share equals 0.35, average inter-item correlation equals 0.62. PRC equals 0.62 times 0.35 divided by 5 equals 0.0434. The team decides any persona with PRC greater than 0.04 is robust enough for roadmap decisions. Continuous refresh. Repeat the measurement every 6 to 12 months to capture evolving behavior. Why integrate? Personas turn abstract user data into concrete decision criteria, ensuring the right features get the right resources. Weighted scoring model - each feature is scored against criteria, for example, revenue impact, strategic fit, persona value. Steps. Define criteria and assign a weight that sums to 100%. For example, revenue 40%, strategic 30%, persona a 15%, persona B 15%. Score each feature on a 1 to 5 scale for each criterion. Calculate weighted score. Score sub-feature equals sum over I of weight sub-I times rating sub-I. Rank features by total score. Persona-centric weighting - use the usage frequency weighting from the previous section. If persona accounts for 30% of sessions, its weight can be 30% of the persona slice of the total weight. Kano model mapping - categorize features as must be one-dimensional, attractive, indifferent, or reverse based on user satisfaction surveys. Plot each feature on a Kano matrix for each persona. A feature that is must be for persona B but attractive for persona A helps prioritize releases tailored to the dominant segment. Combined workflow. Run Kano survey per persona, ask functional and dysfunctional forms. Derive Kano category per persona. Feed Kano category into the weighted scoring. For example, must be equals +5, attractive equals +3. Produce a final prioritized backlog that respects both business ROI and persona needs. Real-world case. A SaaS product uses 3 personas: admin, analyst, executive. After scoring, a new dashboard feature scores high for analyst, Kano attractive, and executive, Kano one-dimensional, and therefore jumps to the top of the release plan, even though its direct revenue impact is moderate. Governance - review the prioritized list each sprint with the product steering committee, showing the persona-based justification to keep stakeholders aligned. Explanation: 8-point typical MBA exam questions and case study application frameworks for user research and persona building. Exam question style 1 short answer: quote double quote describe how you would formulate a research hypothesis to investigate why churn increased after a price change. Include at least 2 smart objectives. Quote answer framework: Number 1 point state the business problem parenthesis churn increase parenthesis. Number 2 point define smart objectives parenthesis. For example, measure the proportion of churned users attributing the price change within 4 weeks parenthesis. Number 3 point write a directional hypothesis parenthesis. For example, if price increases by greater than 10% churn rate will rise by greater than or equal to 5% parenthesis. Exam question style 2 calculation: quote double quote a company wants a 95% confidence level with a ±3% margin of error to estimate the proportion of users who find the new UI easy. What sample size is required? Show the formula. Quote answer: use n equals z squared p open parenthesis 1 minus p close parenthesis divided by e squared with z equal to 1.96, p equal to 0.5, e equal to 0.03 arrow, n approximately 1067. Case study framework parenthesis 7-step checklist used in many MBA courses parenthesis: Number 1 point problem definition - clarify the product decision that needs user insight. Number 2 point research design - choose quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methods set objectives and hypotheses. Number 3 point sampling plan - select sampling technique compute, required sample size and outline recruitment. Number 4 point data collection - deploy surveys parenthesis Likert, Kano parenthesis, and conduct interviews / focus groups. Number 5 point data analysis - run descriptive statistics regression / factor analysis, thematic coding and clustering. Number 6 point persona construction - turn clusters into personas, validate with reliability metrics, and weight by usage. Number 7 point decision integration - apply weighted scoring or Kano mapping to prioritize features prepare a presentation linking each recommendation to persona evidence. Dash sample case prompt colon. Quote double quote a ride-sharing startup notices a dip in weekend usage. Using the above framework outline a research plan how you would segment users, build personas, and decide which feature to build next. Quote. Key points for answer colon. Dash define objective colon identify reasons for weekend drop-off and quantify impact. Dash hypothesis colon longer wait times on weekends increase abandonment. Dash sampling colon stratified sample of weekend riders parenthesis city comma driver rating parenthesis compute n approximately 400. Dash collect colon survey with Likert items on wait time perception semicolon conduct 10 in-depth interviews. Dash analyze colon regression of wait time on abandonment semicolon k means on ride frequency comma spend and vehicle type arrow 3 clusters. Dash personas colon weekend socializers parenthesis high spend comma low weight tolerance parenthesis comma family movers parenthesis moderate spend comma high tolerance parenthesis comma price sensitive commuters parenthesis low spend comma price driven parenthesis. Dash prioritization colon weighted scoring gives real-time ETA UI improvement as top for weekend socializers parenthesis must be in Kano parenthesis justify ROI via regression coefficient. Dash tip for MBA students, dash always tie back to financial metrics parenthesis. For example, projected increase in LTV comma reduction in churn parenthesis and strategic alignment parenthesis. For example,